Hello, this is Shane with Radical Rocks. This should be very interesting. I'm finding the internet is very buggy tonight, so I'm going to check a couple things. We're live, so if it turns out good, I'll keep it. If not, I'll just dump it. But I wanted to talk about rock collecting in Washington, red burl or red emeralds, as it were. And some other topics about laser welding for rockhounding and just anything that you want to talk about. But again, it's pretty buggy, and I have these screens up, but things keep cutting out. So I'm going to check and see how this is actually coming up right now, if I can. And I'm having a hard time even getting it up to check on how it's going to come out. So this may be another one of those nights that I spend a lot of time and don't get any good results. So yeah, I wanted to check this first and then get the podcast online. But wow, this is incredible. Very buggy tonight. I don't understand why it's not cloudy. There's no storm. So it's got to be on Elon. It must be Elon Musk. It must be his service, because I am not seeing a lot. Here we go. We're moving along a little bit here. All right. So I am trying to see. Okay. Let's see what it says here. Okay. We are getting a live stream. I don't know if anybody can hear me. I will try to pull back up the I will try to pull back up the live stream and see if anybody is on there. It says something went wrong. Great. Yeah, I'm not hearing any voice on the stream, so that's not good. Let's see.
Do you want to scout the terrain? Is it really
late? Wants to give me commercials. That's pleasant. How can I fix this? Let's see. Darn. Feedback. The feedback is it's not very good. Huh. Why are we not getting... All right, it looks like the voice is working. Sorry it's taking so long. Man, this is terrible. All right, so the next thing I got to do is try to fix the chat. So what I can do, I can look at the chat on another channel and just not worry about doing the podcast. So that's what I'll do. Let me see if I can pull up the chat. All right, live chat. So according to this, there is somebody in there, but I don't see the chat. Let's see here. Great. Live chat. Here we go. Okay. All right. Welcome to live chat. All right. I do see the live chat, so I do think I have to turn this up. Okay. All right. So I don't think I'm going to be able to share the screen with you. This is not a very good format. Have you ever heard of red burl? That is something that can be found in Utah. Some people call it a red emerald. The Rock and Gym magazine have a great article on it. If you sign up for their emails, you can get the emails and find out about red burl. Is it really a red emerald? Well, it is beautiful, and it has a nice luster to it. Emerald is the birthstone for May, and a lot of people like green. I like green. It's my favorite color. I got to take a cough drop here. I've been fighting a cough for about 3 months. Won't go away. All right. So it symbolizes spring and a new life. In the ancient Tibetan calendar, it was a stone for January. But the stone in question is not green, it's red. And the issue is under debate whether red beryl can really be called a red emerald. Hey, I say call it whatever you want. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder, spelled Pliny, around 2379 CE, called it by the ancient Greek word smaragdos, which translated as green gem. The Egyptians treasured it and were mining it as early as 1500 BCE around the area of Nile, the Nile River, and the Red Sea. So here we go with the red. Beryl can be a lot of colors. The impurities that are in it are what designate its color. Light aqua blue gets its color from the electrons Fe2 plus and form a transitional metal element, a form of transitional metal element of iron. Red wavelengths of light entering the crystals excite the iron electrons, causing them to shift, and makes a complementary blue wavelengths more dominant, and you can see the fine blue color. The darker shade of blue is caused by other chemicals, a chloromorphor Fe3 plus. If you're a chemist and that kind of stuff excites you, I'm more interested in just the metals. Keep it to the basics. Greenish yellow and golden yellow beryl gets its color from oxygen and iron and has trace amounts of this. It can be yellow to orange depending on how close together these are. Pink morganite was named, and that's also in the emerald family, was named by J.P. Morgan. He had someone that he was a gem collector. So the pink shades are due to trace of manganese, and usually you find this around the lithium areas as well. And the light enters into the pink crystal, causing blue wavelengths absorbed by the manganese, allowing some red wavelengths to reflect. Colorless. Of course, there's not really any colored minerals that would give it any color. And then red, rare, beautiful red, is caused by trace amounts of chromium that acts as within the atomic structures to give it this color. There's also some trace amounts of vanadium, and that leaves us with red beryl. So there you go. Kind of close in atomic makeup and chemical makeup to the morganite. So, morganite is not really ever called an emerald. The green-yellow type of beryl occurs only in the ruby-violet claims of the Wah-Wah Mountains of Utah. The red color only occurs in the ruby-violet claims in the Wah-Wah Mountains of Utah. And that's spelled W-A-H, and then another word, W-A-H, Wah-Wah, I guess is how you'd say it. So it's very rare to get one over a carat. 5 carats is exceedingly rare. Gem quality crystals can weigh hundreds of carats, but to get one cut at gemstone quality of more of a carat or more, 5 carats, is extremely valuable and will fetch a very, very high price. So there's a book where the term red emerald is used. Seth Rosendahl's, it's R-O-Z-Zen, it's R-O-Z-E-N-D-A-A-L. He's got a 15-page book called The Red Emerald Suit Treasures, and it outlines, so that would be nice. Only 0.5% of all gems that are collected reach the half-carat sizes seen in a bracelet that's displayed on the website at Rock and Gem about the red emerald and the case for the red emerald. It hasn't been well known by most people, so as rare as it is, you would think, you know, those in the know would be wanting to collect that. And there are some that will collect very nice specimens. So this article was originally written by Bob Jones, who recently passed away, a wonderful rock hound, and just such a wealth of information. So sad that he's gone. They just don't have him like him anymore. All right. So it looks like we have two people there. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. I'm logged in on another account that I have, and that is Mountain Crypto. So I'm just going to say hello and send that out on the chat to see if anything pops up. Looks like it does. So the chat is working. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to share, love to hear about it. Did you know that there's rubies in Idaho? I was not aware of this. I live in Idaho. I thought that they were probably talking about garnets and not rubies. But according to News Radio 1310.com, you can look up, and they even got some videos and stuff that you can link about rubies in Idaho, Idaho rubies. And apparently, if I can pull this up, and I won't be able to share it with you, the screen, but yeah, they have several videos here on the rubies. And these rubies are a lot of private mines in the area, so you've got to be careful. But it says you can investigate the landscape and lakes surrounding Rock Flat Mine. Now, there's probably a claim on the mine, so you have to check downstream areas, maybe, I don't know, that aren't claimed. Your chances of finding rubies are good. New Meadow and Little Goose Creek are regions of Idaho that have produced an abundance of a few different gems, according to minedat.org, which is a great resource for looking for rocks and gems in areas that you plan on visiting. So there's that. If you want to check that out, I thought that was kind of cool. Being that I'm here in Idaho, I've never heard of that, so that's new. All right, Washington, collecting rocks in Washington. Again, this is live, so if you're there and you want to ask a question or anything, feel free to put something in the chat. I want to try to do live streams, and I've set up the YouTube channel with a members area. I think I put it at the very lowest price that they have. And I know I don't have anything in the archives for members, so I will be making some special videos, but mostly I think it's more about interaction and being able to ask your question and get an answer, or just being able to be part of a community of rockhounds. All right, so Washington rockhounding. Let's see here. Trying to send me some junk letter here. Like I said, my internet's been real buggy tonight, so I don't know if you've ever done any rock hounding in Washington. I have not. I know that there's a lot of great areas. It says here that some rock hounds went to a particular area. They found a mother lode of petrified wood and common opal. And the page is being very buggy right now, so I'm having a hard time maneuvering it. But all right, so if you go to the newstribune.com and look up Washington's Rockhounds Comb the Mountains and Beaches for Stony Treasures by Craig Saylor. He's got a lengthy article here with a bunch of videos, and they talk about sites that they visited, over a half dozen sites in the, I guess it's Puyallup, 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 I'm probably saying it wrong, I apologize, Valley Gym and Mineral Club, searching for opal, jasper, petrified wood, and other treasures in the mountains above Greenwater. The club has over 500 members, and they have a lot of great information, stories to share. They love rock hounding. So, oh darn, I messed up again here. All right, back on track. Okay, so let's get into some of the areas. The Washington State Mineral Council has revealed that there are veins, rock hills, and hidden digging pits in the mountains above Greenwater. Experienced and amateur rockhounds gather at the Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest Ranger Station in Enumclaw. And I can spell those out for you if you want. But no, you should just go to the article, the newstribune.com, and look up Washington rock hounding. And they said on August 17th, they went down and found all kinds of rocks, petrified wood, opal, jasper, stones of many different colors. Gray and brown rocks as dull as a russet potato, but once cracked open, beautiful colors and patterns. And the members there would help people identify what they found. Sometimes they said that, and I've done this on a rock hounding trip, people are picking up stuff and they don't even know what it is. And they see some of these rocks, and then you chip off a corner or whatever, and they're like, oh, wow, that's really beautiful. So, yeah, that's fun. They go up Route 410 to Forest Service Road 70. And again, if you want to ask a question or comment, please put that in the chat. I am watching the chat, and I will respond to you. Right now, I'm Mountain Crypto Shane. I'm logged on there. I'm having a problem getting the chat up while I stream, so I apologize for that. So yeah, having a water bottle, they recommend doing that. This gentleman here is one of the club members, is digging for lily pad jasper, which I've never heard of before. And he's also digging up petrified wood. And I don't know if you've ever seen the wood grains sideways. It looks like a bunch of zigzags next to each other. Kind of cool. They have kind of an opalized wood because it's kind of white. So I'm speculating that it's opalized. It might not be, but it might just be agatized. But it's real pretty. There's a lot of sites here that you can go to that this recommends for Washington. I can't wait to go check some of this out. Rocks found in the Cascades need cutting and polishing to reach their full glory. Some of these rocks can be found in museums. And children are welcome to this rock club here. The 17-year-old found a real beautiful piece of petrified wood with zigzags on the actual, looks really cool. I wish I could share the picture with you. I might do that on a live or on a video recording. All right, so they say after the snow melt, that's a really good time to go. Some stones are particularly red and orange carnelian agates can be found in the creeks on Washington's beaches. One prolific agate hunter, Chris Sims, who goes by the handle Carnelia Chris, has 180,000 followers on TikTok. Wow. All right, I don't see anybody leaving any messages. Again, I am watching the chat. If you want to ask any questions or share anything, please put something in the chat. Be glad to have a conversation with you on anything relative to rockhounding, lapidary, silversmithing. We'll talk about lasers in a minute if you're interested in that. I think they're pretty interesting. I'm not an expert, but I found some information on them, and boy, that would sure be on my bucket list to get one. All right. Also, rockhounding in Washington, they tell you to be careful of rock slides. All right. So you can go check that out if you want. Let's see if I can get the laser article up. Laser. Sorry, everything's so slow and buggy tonight. I picked a bad night to try to live stream, but I had the time. So, you know, I work 2 jobs, actually. I work a full-time job and I work a part-time job. And then we're a very busy family. So I treasure the time that I can spend doing rockhounding videos and researching information and actually getting in the shop and doing the lapidary or getting out in the field and doing some collecting. I did a 4-part series on Pennsylvania. We went and looked at some mines. I found a really great gentleman there. Okay, let's talk about lasers. If you go to the website, I guess it's Ganoskin. It's GANOKSIN.com. And they do an article on the best laser for jewelry. If you've never looked, by the way, I see more people on there. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. I would love to talk with you. I would love to answer your questions. So somebody just dropped off. I guess I missed them. All right. Lasers. Pretty cool. I watched a video. If you go to Amazon and you look up a jewelry laser, you can watch a little video. Excuse me. YouTube won't let me share the video. It pops up as a copyright, which I would think, you know, it's an advertising video. You would think they would be happy for me to show it. But they go from a few $1,000s to, I don't know, as much as you want to spend. But they are really cool. I was doing a video on shrinking ring sizes, and you can actually fill in a ring with that. You could put a little bar in there and weld it to it, and you don't even have to take the stones out because the ring doesn't get hot. In fact, some of the videos show the guy holding the ring in his hand, and I think he's in it like a compartment, kind of like if you've ever seen where you do sandblasting in a little box. It's kind of like a little box like that. You look through a viewfinder while you do it. And I mean, you can literally weld and solder while the stones are still in there, and you won't hurt the ring, which is really cool. Now, I don't know how close you can get to the ring. That's something you might have to research, but all right. So this one here compares different types of lasers. I'm not going to go into it too much. If you're really serious about lasers, check it out. The NewTek Pulse Point Studio plus 20 laser is one of the first ones that they talk about. All right, we got a question. Cool. My grandma bought me some really nice agates from Ocean Shores. They're raw, and I'm not sure what to do with them, but I love rocks and jewelry. Okay, well, Ocean Shores, is that in California? Is that back east? Where's that from? I'm curious. What state? That'd be my first question. The next thing I would tell you is look up a gym and mineral club in your area, Rock Gym and Mineral Club. I belong to several clubs. I belong to clubs here in Idaho. I still support clubs back in California. And one of them was the Orange Belt Mineralogical Society in San Bernardino, California. There's the Ukaipa Gym and Mineral Club. There's the Searchers out in Anaheim. Great clubs. There's the Victor Valley Gym and Mineral Club out in the high desert area. Up here we have, there's all kinds of rock and gym clubs here in Idaho. I belong to a couple of them. I can't remember the names of them, but I'm in North Idaho. So North Idaho. I would join the rock club. The other thing you could do if you're handy and you're not nervous, you could buy a lapidary machine. This would have a saw, would have some grinding wheels on it. And if you look in Craigslist, or if you got like a local throwaway paper, up here we have one called the Nickel. That's a great one. You can do Craigslist, and you can say, you know, I'm looking to buy lapidary equipment. If you're handy, you can say running or not. And usually people who call just really want to get rid of it and make room. They're usually not looking for top dollar. If you go there and it's old and it's not running, you could, you know, buy a motor at Harbor Freight and replace it very easily. You know, you might be able to buy a lapidary machine for a couple $100 if you shop around. Now, if you want to buy a brand new one, you could go to like Kingsley North or Johnson Brothers and get a nice one for probably $1,200 to $2,000. It'll have more variety of wheels with different grits, and get one that has a trim saw on the end. If your agates aren't too big, you could trim off some slabs, little slices about a 1/4 inch thick, roundabout, or a little thicker, depending on what you're going to do with them. And those little slabs, you can draw a shape of a stone on it. Usually we start off with a cabochon, which is an oval cabochon, but cabochons can be heart-shaped, square, they can be oval, round, whatever you want. And then once you draw the shape on it, you just use that saw to trim around the edges, most of it, and then you grind the rest with the heavier grit and progress. Once you get it shaped, you can glue it. It is agate, so you could use, with agate, you could use super glue if you wanted. You get like a nail with a big head, make sure the head is real flat or fairly flat, you know, it doesn't sit crooked, and then put some super glue on there and let it dry really good. And then when you want to take it off, you just heat the nail and the stone will pop right off. You heat it with a, you know, little torch, or maybe even a lighter might be enough to do it. The other way that way you have something to hold the stone with when you're rounding off the cabochon. The other thing you could do is, if you want to make a bigger cabochon, you can use a wood glue and a wood piece of dowel. Cut a piece of wood. I've even used to use wood that I've split up with a hatchet. But the glue's got to dry for a couple days. And as long as you don't get it too hot, you can make that into a cabochon. Got to be careful. Same thing with the metal. When you're grinding the stone, if you get it too hot, it will pop off with the super glue. Otherwise, you got to buy a dopping pot and some dop. It's typically green or brown. There's lower temps and higher temps, and I think I've got some videos you can check out where I use the dopping wax to adhere a stone to a dowel. The other thing you can do is just cut a slab and get a bunch of sandpaper and a real flat surface, like a breadboard, a really solid breadboard that's super flat. And you could use wet sandpaper that you can get wet. Start off with 100 grit, 200 grit, 400 grit, 600 grit, and then you could try to buff it out with a Dremel if you have a Dremel, and some sort of polishing compound. There's polishing compounds that you can buy in a lapidary store. You can buy on eBay. You can buy on Amazon. Zam is a real popular one. Or you could just buy some powdered tin oxide or iron oxide, which is a red color. You don't want to use that on any you don't want to use the red one on any porous stones because it can kind of discolor porous stones. So there's some ideas for you, what you could do with your grandma's agates that she brought you. I would definitely cut one into a slice. And I like to sometimes take and cut an agate, like if it's, let's say it's like about this big around, you cut it in half. Well, you grind one side flat so it'll sit up on its own, right? Use your heavy grinding wheel, grind it as flat as you can, cut it down the middle, and then polish each side. And now you've got a nice display piece that you can sit up and look at and have. So there's some ideas of what to do with your agates. If there's a bunch of little small ones, you might consider going and getting a rock tumbler. You can buy them very affordably at Harbor Freight. They used to even come with packets of grit. The belts sometimes break on those, so you can replace them with sewing machine belts that sometimes you can find at the dollar store really cheap. Or you can buy a used rock tumbler. Again, get in touch with a local lapidary club, because if you don't want to buy anything and there's a lapidary club, if they have a shop, usually you get your membership, and then for the shop night, they charge a small fee to use the saw. And usually there's a small shop fee, and all day long you can use, or however long they have their shop open, usually 2 to 4 hours, you can use their grinders, their polishers, and things like that. So that's another way to be able to do something without spending a lot of money if you want to go that route. And people in lapidary clubs, for my experience over the last many decades, they can't wait to help you, and you'll leave with more rocks than you came with. So really a good group of people. When I was gold mining, a lot of gold miners, not all, but gold does weird things to people. They get greedy. I've gone gold mining and had a few flakes, and the people I was with took the bucket. I know it was them. They had to have been them. And that's just the way it is. I had a few little tiny plinkers on my TV shelf for years, and it had to be somebody in my immediate family, that took them. But with rocks, like I said, generous people. They'll give you a chip. If they're cutting up their rocks and you're new, they'll give you some. If they've got a bucket of rocks and you want to try something, they're going to be handing you stuff. I guarantee you. I know rock people. All right. Well, thanks for the question. Anybody else have any questions? Go ahead and put it out there. I'll do my best to answer it. And love to hear your ideas as well. If you've got some great ideas, put them out there on the chat. That's why I'm here live streaming. Hopefully I can do this every once in a while, and we can hobnob like this and enjoy that time together. So more on the laser. They have a pedal where you can control the action of the laser, and they have a rest for your wrist while you're there, because you're going to be, I guess, holding that in one hand, the welder in one hand. And it has a lot of accessories on it, according to this article here. They said it allows you to have up to 32 individual specific configurations. Cool. It uses 20 joules. It has a pulse 20, and it is very nice for the average person, for a small. If you're a huge jewelry studio or experienced professional, you might need something more. This sounds like a nice option for someone who just wants to get into lasers. So there's a lot more on this article about lasers. I'm not going to go into it because it's just kind of tedious. But some of them are able to do some pretty wild stuff, according to what I'm reading here. All right, what else have we got? Anybody have any questions? Probably be wrapping it up here pretty shortly. So if you do have a question, get it out there. There is a little bit of lag today. My internet is super buggy. I apologize for that. Not seeing anything come off of that. Okay. I was going to try to load up another goodie on rockhounding, but I don't see it. I do have been working on some graphics for t-shirts. I do have some t-shirts. There should be a spreadsheet or spreadshirt link down there if you want a t-shirt. I've got my Radical Rocks, one of my Radical Rocks logos there. It's okay shirt. I have a few. Of course, I like them. But I'm trying to work on something that's a little more, I don't know, looks a little more mainstream, I guess. The one I got is kind of blocky. But if you're a real rockhound, rockhound fan, then you might be interested in something like that. Okay. There was a cool article on rockhounding in Maine. I don't know if anybody's interested in that. Maine has actually green burl there. So there's some beautiful burl. There was an article on several areas you could go rockhounding in Maine. What else have we got here? That's about it. Not seeing too much else. Okay, computer's locking up again. Great. Love it. All right, if you've got anything you want to talk about, throw it out there, because it looks like everything else is kind of dying on my internet. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I don't see any more questions. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you've got any ideas for future episodes, love to hear it. So send that to me. You can join my groups online. We've got thousands and thousands of members on Facebook under Radical Rocks. I've got MeWe. We've got tons of members. I think like 4,000 to 6,000 members on MeWe. Got a Selling Rocks website, and also, and I'm not selling anything there, but I've got a Radical Rocks website there as well, where we talk about lapidary and rocks. There's a pretty active chat room there, pretty friendly people. So we've got that. I don't go on X too much, but do have the X link, I believe, in the description. So you're welcome to check that out. Again, everything is just so buggy on the computer tonight. I am not having any success. So I'm going to wrap it up. I don't see any more questions. I hope you guys have a great night. Until next time, remember, rockhounds don't die. We petrify. Okay.